Motogp Sprint just finished 1 hour ago, more or less. I just watched all the thoughts of Martin, Mark, Banaya. They made their declarations in Spanish for the Spanish television. And well, after that, what we have seen, uh, what it's very plain to see is that the Ducati 24 is way better than the 23. As we see the pole position from today, it's 2 seconds faster than the pole position from last year with the same Ducati 23. 2 seconds. Last week in Assen, the race, it was the same winner, Pecco Bagnaia. It was 30 seconds faster. 30 seconds faster. That means in a 24 laps Grand Prix, that means way more than a second per lap. This is a lot. This is so much. Never in the last 3 or 4 years the Ducati had such an advantage from the previous year bike. In 22 to 23 was totally the opposite. The 22 was way better almost all the year until the end, the last part, the Asiatic tour. And in 23 was more or less not as much. The 23 was way better from, not from the beginning, but from the first third already. And here the difference is super big. Marc Marquez made probably all the mistakes. It was the worst Grand Prix so far for Marc Marquez. He made all the mistakes possible. We are lucky because he's not injured and he could. And I think it's gonna be very difficult to win that title if Ducati doesn't help Marquez in some way. Because last Grand Prix in Assen, it was like 30 seconds in a race, but here is a very, very small, very tiny circuit. It's a 1 minute 20 circuit. It's like a karting. It's very small. You cannot use the lowering of the rear device to take profit of the long straights. And even though the difference was huge, was very big. So I think it's gonna be very difficult. Tomorrow with more laps, it's gonna be easier to get more points. For example, what I took is that Bagnaia had nothing to fight against Oliveira. I mean, it's not only that you cannot attack, it's that Oliveira is letting you down, is pulling away. And I see how Bastianini was absolutely gregary, like a servant of Bagnaia. If you are attempting to renew your contract, it's understandable. But if you already signed with another brand, it was very second or beta type rider, you know. Also, we know that the Insectonetti leading the championship of the Insectonetti is Brad Binder. I mean, Brad Binder is a very strong breaker, and even if he's riding 1 second slower than you, he's gonna take you out of the line, he's gonna break you in parallel. I mean, he's not taking the good leap stream and trying to follow the fast people, but he's trying to block anyone. It was like an agglutination of riders just on top of Binder that was very, very shameful. And what else? Pedro Acosta is not going to be the youngest rider to win a MotoGP Grand Prix. This is a fact, and it's starting to look very difficult from the market point of view. Look where the other 23 are. I mean, you have to look, maybe the next 23 is like almost 100 points behind. So if Ducati doesn't help the show, it could get dangerous for Ducati, because you need Mark there just for one reason, because if something happened to Banaya, I'm not saying I wish, no, I'm just saying if something happened to Banaya along the year, and it's gonna be a very stressful year, a lot of races, a lot of weather conditions and many stuff. We know from last year, that was the first year that we had this new kind of sprint race and double races and all that stuff. A lot of injuries, a lot of problems, unexpected problems. And imagine if making MotoGP science fiction, imagine that something happened to Banaya and you let the title, you let Martin take the number one to Aprilia. You need to have someone to back up Banaya, because, well, maybe that can be done by a second rider type, second beta type of rider like Bastianini, but he's gonna take the number one in case that happened to, because of course that Martin, I mean, if something happens to Banaya, who's gonna challenge Martin? And Martin is gonna take number one to Aprilia. So I don't think that Ducati is gonna allow that to happen. Anyway, we're gonna see tomorrow in the warm-up. One of the feelings that give me confidence for Marquez is that, you know, the Spanish reporters ask, and how do you feel, how it was, and he's okay. He's okay. He was lamenting that he did very, very little number of laps, like he did 2 laps, then got in again, 3 laps, and then, you know, he had not continuity, and now with the long run of the sprint race, he realized some kind of problems or things that probably he's gonna try to better. The good news is that once he was able to take out all the slow riders, like being there, like it was also, well, at the end he had to fight with Maverick and he was way faster. When he had gaps of clean space to work his rhythm, he was doing a rhythm like the top guys. So this is good. But I'm starting to feel that it's gonna be a kind of a political championship, you know, because there's an incredible difference among the 23 and the 24, and this is a circuit that maybe you're not gonna make that difference, but it is, and I don't know, I'm a bit worried, and I think that only if Ducati intervenes and makes something to help Mark, I think that there's a big risk that the number one goes to one of the rivals of Ducati. So I don't think Ducati is gonna allow that to happen, and I think that maybe the solution is to help a little bit Mark. So we're gonna see tomorrow. I wait for you on the live timing of the warm-up. It's gonna be a very important, very key warm-up. So thank you very much, and I see you tomorrow.